What's up, champs? Welcome back to the channel. Let's jump straight into today's MMA news. Islam Makhachev returned home to Dagestan on Sunday after his UFC 322 win over JDM. Speaking to the media at the airport, he talked about the potential options for his first welterweight title defense and made it clear he's not short on challengers. When asked about Ian Garry's recent callout, Islam said he wasn't impressed with Garry's performance over the weekend, but isn't ruling out the possibility of facing him. He kept his response calm and direct, noting that if the UFC wants that matchup, he'll be ready, though he doesn't see anything particularly special in what Garry showed. Islam also mentioned Shavkat Rakhmonov as another possible opponent, saying he would gladly accept that fight. However, he pointed out that the UFC might hesitate to give Shavkat a title shot right now due to his inactivity. Still, Islam made it clear that from his perspective, he's willing to face whoever earns the spot, and he doesn't shy away from tough challengers. Of course, the conversation eventually shifted toward a potential super fight with Ilia, a matchup that fans have been debating for months. Islam responded by saying it would take a very good offer from the UFC for him to drop down and face Ilia at 155. He didn't dismiss the idea entirely, but he emphasized that the deal would need to make sense for him, especially since he's now settling into the welterweight division and focusing on building his legacy there. Overall, Islam kept his tone relaxed, confident, and fully in control as he outlined what could be next in one of the most competitive stretches of his career. Before we continue, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. It really helps support the channel. Moving on to another news, Darren Till has unleashed a fiery rant aimed directly at Ian Garry after the recent hotel altercation involving Garry and Khamzat. Till took to X to share his thoughts, making it clear that while he respects Garry's skills inside the cage, he has strong issues with everything else about him. He started by saying that Ian is undeniably a very good fighter, but in his view, his personality and public behavior are impossible to get behind. Till wrote that, in his opinion, Garry might be the fakest human on earth, calling him fake beyond all beliefs, and admitting that it's incredibly hard to like him. He explained that he has even sat alone in his room, dealing with his own thoughts, trying to convince himself to like Garry, but he simply can't. Till pointed to Garry calling Khamzat a child and said the entire interaction between them came off as completely fake. When Ian turned around during the altercation, Till claimed you could clearly see fear in his eyes. He said Khamzat is similar to him in personality, which is why they were close friends, and that if someone talks trash, they expect to deal with it in person. Till continued by saying that while Ian is truly a talented fighter, he remains extremely unlikable. He brought up how Garry recently criticized Leon's performance and said that kind of behavior only adds to his negative reputation. According to Till, Garry has been kicked out of multiple gyms, including the one he recently trained at, because people eventually get tired of his attitude. He said no matter how hard he tried to support Garry, he always came across as insincere. In closing, Till doubled down on calling Garry a proper fake, saying that his personality overshadows his talent and makes it difficult for anyone to genuinely root for him. Moving on to another news, Max Holloway has fired off some sharp criticism toward Arman after the chaotic moment at the UFC Qatar weigh-ins. During the face-off with Dan Hooker, Arman suddenly lunged forward and headbutted him, a move that drew immediate backlash from fans and fighters across the sport. Many pointed out that if Hooker had been cut or injured, the fight could have been canceled on the spot. On a recent live stream, Holloway didn't hold back, calling the move really stupid and questioning why Arman would risk his payday over a burst of emotion. Holloway said that fighters don't get paid at weigh-ins, and that putting your fight purse at risk over a heat-of-the-moment reaction is the kind of mistake that simply shouldn't happen at the highest level. He added that hurting your opponent before the fight starts is the worst-case scenario, because if the fight gets canceled, nobody wins. Holloway repeated multiple times that the decision was so stupid, saying that emotions can't get the better of you like that when so much is on the line. According to him, losing a paycheck for a moment of tension is something no fighter can afford to do. On top of the livestream comments, Holloway also appeared on the Korean Zombies podcast, where he discussed how he still views himself within the UFC landscape. Despite his knockout loss to Ilia, Holloway said he still believes he's the best boxer in the UFC. He acknowledged that plenty of people will say otherwise because of the Ilia fight, but he doesn't let outside opinions define him. Holloway explained that when he looks in the mirror, he tells himself he's the best boxer in the sport, and that self-belief is a big part of why he considers himself one of the best fighters in the world. He talked about the importance of confidence and said that no internet troll living at home, hiding behind a screen, is going to shake him. Holloway even joked about why he sometimes replies to these comments, saying it's just funny to him and that he enjoys stirring up a little drama now and then. He pointed out that half the people talking don't even use their real names or photos, which tells him their own confidence isn't where it needs to be. For Holloway, confidence, mindset, and staying true to who he is remain the keys to his success, no matter what anyone else says. Moving on to another news, Conor has returned to the spotlight after revealing he underwent an intense psychedelic treatment in Mexico, an experience he says completely transformed his life. Posting on X, he told fans, "Hey guys, I am back," and went on to explain that he connected with forward-thinking doctors from Stanford University who guided him through a series of treatments designed to confront and heal deep trauma. He traveled to Tijuana, Mexico, where he received ibogaine treatment at Ambio, the same facility featured in the newly released Netflix documentary In Waves and War, which he encouraged fans to watch. According to Conor, watching the documentary brought everything full circle because it highlighted the exact environment he had just gone through. He described the experience as incredible, intense, and absolutely eye-opening. During the treatment, Conor said he was shown a vision of what his death would have looked like, how soon it could have happened, and how devastating the impact on his children would have been. He explained that he saw himself from above, and then from the perspective of lying inside his own coffin. What followed, he said, was a powerful spiritual encounter in which he felt the presence of God in the Holy Trinity. He described Jesus, Mary, and the archangels appearing in heaven and showing him the light. Conor said Jesus descended from white marble steps and placed a crown upon him, a moment he believes marked his spiritual saving. He remained under the effects of the treatment for 36 hours before finally resting. When he woke up, he said he felt like himself again, renewed in mind, heart, and soul. He called the experience the most enlightening and enchanting thing he has ever gone through. Despite how tough and emotionally challenging the process was, Conor credits it with saving his life and, in turn, saving his family. He expressed deep gratitude to his supporters, thanking them for their motivation, encouragement, well wishes, and especially their prayers. Conor said he now feels like a child again, but with the understanding and wisdom of an adult. He thanked his family, friends, fans, and team, celebrating the fact that they made it through this chapter together. With confidence and clarity, he said the world is in for a treat and that he is moving forward with purpose. He closed his message by thanking God for the blessing, promising to live his life according to his word, signing off simply as Conor. Moving on to another news. The situation involving Khamzat and Garry at UFC Qatar has taken over the headlines, and it all stems from an unexpected hotel hallway run-in that escalated far quicker than anyone anticipated. What first appeared on camera as a friendly, lighthearted moment between the two welterweights instantly shifted into a genuine altercation. According to people who were there, Ian approached Khamzat from behind and grabbed him in what he intended to be a playful greeting. The problem was that the gesture came off way more physical than it needed to be, and Khamzat clearly didn't appreciate it. As Ian walked away, Khamzat slapped him on the back. It was meant to mimic the same friendly tone, but the force and aggression behind it made the mood shift immediately. Ian turned back around, words were exchanged, and Khamzat gave him a hard push while telling him he'd mess him up. Security reacted fast, stepping in before the confrontation escalated into something much worse. This entire moment unfolded within seconds, catching everyone around them off guard. Dana White finally addressed the situation, and his comments made it clear that the organization is running out of patience with these kinds of hotel altercations. He explained that UFC staff and matchmakers are getting tired of seeing hallway scuffles happen card after card, especially when Khamzat continues to be at the center of so many of them. Dana hinted that something else went down backstage that the public hasn't heard about yet, suggesting that the tension between the camps might be deeper than what was caught on camera. Meanwhile, Garry is riding a strong wave of momentum. He's coming off a huge win over Belal Muhammad and has used nearly every interview since to call out Islam Makhachev. With a 2-fight win streak over Protest and now Belal, Ian feels justified in pushing for a title shot, insisting that he's ready for the division's elite and has earned his place in the conversation. His confidence is higher than ever, and moments like this run-in with Khamzat only amplify the spotlight around him. Dana wrapped up his remarks by admitting that the UFC didn't do a great job preventing the altercation, but emphasized that the team is working to stop these incidents from happening again. Moving on to another news, Sean O'Malley doesn't believe the UFC will book Arman versus Ilia anytime soon. In a new video on his YouTube channel, O'Malley reacted to Arman's impressive performance against Dan Hooker and discussed what the promotion might do next with one of its most dangerous contenders. Even though Arman dominated Hooker in every aspect, O'Malley thinks the UFC will avoid matching him up with Ilia because they want to protect Ilia's title reign and keep him in big, marketable fights. O'Malley said Arman is no joke and that Arman versus Ilia would be an extremely compelling matchup, but he emphasized that the UFC loves Ilia as a champion and sees him as someone who can headline massive cards for years to come. In his view, Arman is simply too much of a threat. He explained that the UFC wouldn't want to risk their rising star losing the belt in a fight that could easily go the other way. According to O'Malley, Arman has a real legitimate chance of beating Ilia, especially with the pace, pressure, and wrestling-heavy style he brings. Despite saying that, O'Malley admitted that he thinks Ilia might be able to knock Arman out if they ever fought, though calling the matchup is tough. He made it clear that if anyone at 155 has the tools to beat Ilia, it's Arman, describing him as a complete, relentless competitor who keeps getting better every fight. In O'Malley's eyes, Arman is the type of fighter who could derail Ilia's championship run, which is exactly why he doesn't believe the UFC will make the matchup anytime soon. Moving on to another news, Robert Whittaker has shared his thoughts on one of the biggest hypothetical matchups fans love debating: Islam Makhachev versus Prime GSP. Speaking on the latest episode of his MMA Arcade podcast, Whittaker broke down why he believes Islam would actually beat the man many consider the greatest welterweight of all time. GSP dominated his era with a mix of elite wrestling, crisp striking, and some of the highest fight IQ the sport has ever seen. He even moved up and briefly captured the middleweight title. Now, Islam has become a 2-division UFC champion himself, blending Dagestani wrestling, suffocating top control, and an ever-improving striking game. With both men praised for their complete skill sets, Whittaker admitted the matchup is extremely tricky to call. As the discussion started, the question came up: Prime GSP versus Islam, who wins? Whittaker took a moment, thinking it through, and said that at welterweight, things get especially interesting. He pointed out that GSP had a very good game to fight someone like Islam. He described GSP as a springy, karate-style fighter who loved shooting from the outside, mixing punches, scrambles, and transitions with top-tier jiu-jitsu. His cardio and ability to chain sequences together made him extremely dangerous in long fights. But when comparing that to Islam, Whittaker said Islam also has a very good game, built uniquely for high-pressure grappling exchanges. He explained that Islam thrives in scrambles and wrestling sequences in a way few fighters ever have. Whittaker said that if the fight turned into a scramble-heavy battle or a prolonged wrestling match, Islam would likely come out ahead because he's simply built for that kind of grind. He compared it to how Khabib dominated fighters in the same fashion, overwhelming them with strength, timing, and technique. Whittaker broke down the major stylistic difference, explaining that GSP used the full toolbox of MMA. He would mix in wrestling to force opponents to worry about the takedown, then stand back up and box their heads off because they were second-guessing every movement. He'd put them on the ground again, then return to striking, always controlling the rhythm of the fight. Islam, according to Whittaker, fights with a different intention. When Islam gets you down, you're simply not getting back up. His control is heavier, his positioning more secure, and his ability to shut down movement is unmatched. By the end of the breakdown, Whittaker said that as hard as the choice is, he honestly thinks Islam would get it done. He emphasized that GSP is one of the greatest ever, but stylistically, Islam's relentless wrestling and top control would eventually take over and decide the fight.